Today, I am going to be talking with Scott Taylor Jr. We're going to explore this idea of cross-collaboration between departments in our college, and we're going to talk about experiential learning, cultural awareness, and just more importantly, how all of these things can support and elevate learning for our students. So to begin, what I would like to do is just have you introduce yourself, and then maybe super brief, because I know you've had a lot of experience, super brief explanation of how you got into this academic world. Yeah. What are maybe some of your core values and purpose that go with that?
Sure. Scott Taylor Jr. Yep. I'm an alum of our Ph.D. program here at
Nice.
South Carolina, so happy to be back and be on faculty now. Going back to college, I was going to be a marketing guy. I wanted to work for Nike. That was my dream. Realized that grandma wasn't cooking for me anymore because I was living with my buddies, and I quickly learned how to cook and realized I kind of had a knack for it. Business school kicked me out, so I went to hospitality, and the rest kind of just trickled down. Was going to do culinary school, was convinced to do my master's.
Oh, okay.
By my chef mentor at the University of Missouri. Chef Jet was awesome and convinced me to stick around. Through that, being a GA, I love being in the classroom. I coached basketball all through college as well. So being able to just like be a leader and share wisdom, knowledge, whatever, was exciting to me. And then doing a thesis, which I never thought I would do, sparked my interest in research, and I realized how much I liked it. So when I finished my master's, I was told, go back to the industry, spend more time, learn more. You've been in kitchens, do that for a little bit longer, see if you can get to the front of the house and learn some more about the hospitality side. Yeah, I worked for retail for 5 years before I even transitioned to hospitality. And so did that and was able to come here for 4 years, 2014, 2018. Loved it. The research piece became really fun to me, but being in the classroom is what I would say, that's the joy of my week.
Yeah, no replacing that, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's the fun, it's the downtime, right?
Yeah.
Even though oftentimes it's a lot of stress and work, but it's fun. So that was my transition. Left here, went to the University of Houston for 4 years.
Okay.
Loved my time at the Hilton College. It was great. Had great colleagues, great leadership and everything there. Loved the students. But it was a big city, and my partner and I weren't really excited about being back in a big city. She's from LA. We met in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
So we wanted the college vibe again, and we're lucky enough to come back.
Nice.
And so, yeah.
What I love about that is we have so many instructors here at HRSM that are able to bring industry experience back into the classroom. Yeah. And I think that's one of the differentiators. And it leads right into experiential learning. It's similar to my background from corporate. I was doing retail operations and visual merchandising and store design for all of East Coast, and I really love the fact that I was able to do that first and kind of understand the dynamics of all of that. And then I had a moment when I was like 35, I think, or 36, where I was like, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean? And so, I understood, and it was satisfying some needs, but I was like, I don't feel like I'm really serving.
Sure.
And so I had this calling to, give back, so to speak, but in a meaningful way. So that's how I got back into academics, and love it. Have been over, a couple decades doing that. And so I love that we have those parallels, and that so many of the instructors in our program have expertise that elevates the learning beyond the classroom.
Yes, absolutely.
With that, cultural awareness, I think, is crucial, because in both of our fields, they're global businesses.
Absolutely.
So by default, there was never a time when I was in industry that I did not somehow have to interact on a global scale. How do you bring in any aspect of cultural awareness into the classroom or the learning?
Sure. I actually teach a class called Social and Cultural Issues.
That would do it.
In hospitality and tourism. And this is a class I created when I was at UH, stemming from a lot of the things that were happening and finally being talked about in the restaurant world. All of the, when Me Too kicked off in 2017, and we're finally calling out these bad actors, which then transitioned into more than just sexual harassment and sexual abuse, but then also just verbal, emotional, and mental abuses. And then people finally started talking about our substance misuse habits within the restaurant world,
Yep.
in the bar world. And so that class kind of spawned, or that idea and that conversation spawned a path for me to want to bring to the classroom the things we're often too scared to talk about. You know, we talk about how fun hospitality, retail, and sport can be, the places it can take you, the global aspects, but we never really want to dive into the dark side of these industries.
Yeah.
And so that was something that I wanted to bring to the classroom and tell my students, listen, you're going to go out and you're going to have all these great opportunities. There's a lot of other stuff that happens, but you have a way to change that, and you can change the culture of your industry, of our industry. And then also through that, understanding that they are global, and what you experience here versus being in, you know, North Carolina, St. Louis, Los Angeles, Chicago. And then you go global, you go to London, you go to France, you go to Italy, you go, you know, anywhere else in the world. And it's very different aspects in what they experience. And then, you know, we have all these international faculty coming over as well.
Yes.
And they're bringing the stories of what they grew up with and the experiences they might have had in their countries. And it's like, you have to explain and really appreciate that in the classroom. So the students can go out, and, you know, taking students abroad is a great piece of that. I've not had that luxury yet.
Right.
It's something I look forward to.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a moment. Thank you. From a retail perspective, it's similar. I think I was reading recently that 60% of consumers feel that retail is missing a human element.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Sure. And part of that is beyond just the shopping experience, and that's crucial. However, there is, to your point, the dark side. Do you know what I mean? But I think that comes anytime you provide access.
Yeah.
So with accessibility comes accountability. And so I think that's where that cultural awareness piece has to come in. And because of the global nature of our businesses, I work really hard, and so do our other professors, in grounding cultural awareness in self-awareness.
Sure.
So a lot of self-assessment.
Yeah.
You know, case studies that kind of zero in not just on the business aspect of it, but on the global cultural differences and how that impacts problem solving or navigating the scenario. And, you know, that's one of the things that I love. Leadership is kind of my thing.
Sure.
In terms of where I did a lot of my higher education research, and it's still a passion of mine because I think it's such a good way to give back, to go back to my previous answer. And in my mind, part of our job is we're creating leaders.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of our topic or our subject matter, you know, we're doing leadership training. Absolutely. So I love that you've brought that into the classroom, which goes into experiential learning. So give us your definition of experiential learning. However brief is fine. And then maybe weave that into one of the first initiatives that I heard about that you had begun, which is the Feed the Flock.
Okay. That's a deep question. My first thought is always hands-on. Right?
Yeah.
Experiential, you're doing, you're engaging, you're acting, you're creating, building, whatever it might be. Same point though could be just going and seeing. You know, site visits.
Okay.
You know, that's experiential. You're having an experience. We talk about the experience economy all the time, and hospitality and tourism and sport. But, like, you know, so for me though, I think it's in our side of the industry. Often I think, because I think from a kitchen standpoint, is it's hands-on more often than not. There's other places to it, but that's where my head goes first. And so with the Feed the Flock initiative, this all came from a grant that we have. We're working on trying to increase knowledge and curriculum around food insecurity on college campuses, because there's not really something that we don't teach a lot about it, and it's kind of siloed like most things on college campuses.
Sure.
And so we're working on this grant. We're trying to educate that, but partnering with University of Tennessee, they have a similar program that they've been running for years called Food for Vols. And so Feed the Flock is basically trying to recreate the Food for Vols program here on our campus. And we were lucky enough to get our class up and running last spring. So Chef Knapp ran a class where students come in, and anything that we might have extra in the kitchen that was purchased for other culinary courses, the students cook They cool, they package, and we send it to the campus community shop. Which I think we'll probably talk about here in a little bit.
Yeah, we will. Yeah.
Again, that class shows them they're doing hands-on things in packaging food that's being sent to peers and colleagues on the campus who might not have access to food. But also they're learning about the fact that food insecurity exists on college campuses when we've got dining halls everywhere.
Right.
We've got DoorDash. We've got all the people fail to think that, it could be possible that college students are experiencing food insecurity, or even, faculty and staff.
Yeah, it's almost assumed as a benefit of attending.
Yeah.
Is that's not a concern.
Right.
Yeah. Are there any interesting statistics or data or anything that you found out by starting this?
Yeah. So in 2022, I believe it was, is the most recent data we have specifically of this campus. I think 46% of students indicated some level,
almost half
of food insecurity. Of the students responding to the survey, indicated that. Unfortunately, too, a lot of them tend to be graduate students. Oftentimes international students,
that makes sense.
Or non-traditional students who might also have families. So if the student is experiencing that, there's a good chance that there's other family members as well here with them. And that's the scariest statistic for me.
Yeah. Well, that's great that we're doing that then. And then, all the research points to the fact that experiential learning actually elevates learning. So you could give them, for instance, in a classroom setting, you could say all these statistics and point out these issues and teach about theories and concepts and frameworks that could maybe solve or work to solve this.
Right.
They could even do a project on it, but I don't think there's anything that could replace them literally cooking food, packing it, and delivering it over into a space in which they know fellow students are going to be able to benefit, and or faculty, to your point, or graduate students.
And it's to that same point, I've had a few emails this summer because we've been doing this as well. Students who are receiving these meals or picking these meals up, whatever, I've gotten emails from them saying, thank you so much. Because of this work and because I've been able to have food, I'm now going to go volunteer at the shop to give back to the shop and my fellow community. Or, hey, can I register for that class? I'm really interested in being a part of the solution.
I love it. I think that's such a thread of continuity through HRSM, which is, how do we construct courses in which we not only learn, but we're able to serve?
Yeah.
And I love that. You know what I mean? I love that we're able to do that through sport, through retail, through hospitality. It gets us, not even kind of, it gets us absolutely into the community shop, which is what I would like you to talk about next, because then that'll segue into a partnership that's starting now between us, the retail department and hospitality. So briefly describe the community shop, which obviously that's where the food goes.
Yes.
But it's more than that.
Yes.
Okay.
So, it's been through iterations. At one point it was the Gamecock pantry. There was also a space where students could get clothing and things like that. And it's all kind of combined recently into one space, being the Gamecock community shop.
Okay.
So there is grocery style food. We are providing meals. Other partners on campus are helping with that as well. It's not just us providing food. We're working with Aramark to recapture excess food that we can then package. Food Recovery Network and the Sustainability Department are vital in all of that we're doing. And then, there's donations of clothes that happen there, study materials, books, sanitary things.
Family support as well.
Family support. Yeah. Anything that you might possibly need, that is the place to go and get it. And Jennifer Jackson, who oversees that, is doing a fantastic job kind of expanding and growing that space, and has been a great partner. And really, all of this goes back. The grant is one thing, but then I attended, it was a food insecurity summit a year or two ago that was hosted on our campus, is when I kind of went in and started learning about the various things that were happening on our campus as well as campuses in North and South Carolina. And again, seeing the silos. And I came in and said, what can I do as someone who's doing this grant, who has friends that do this at another institution? What can I do to kind of be a nexus point to bring some of the silos together on our campus?
Yeah.
So that we can be kind of the guiding star of South Carolina, and then take that to other campuses. And as the flagship university, let's lead and then take it. And so I learned about the community shop through that. We started providing the meals, and then we were over there talking, and Jennifer said, we just got all of these clothes donated to us. Obviously, we want students to have access to them. Some are, and even like regalia. So some clothes maybe would be things that students may not want to just keep.
Sure.
But renting, and there was an idea thrown out there of like, let's do a rent the runway.
Right.
Said, perfect. I know the people that can do that.
Yeah.
Happen to be in our college. That makes life so much easier.
Right. Absolutely.
I was like, I've done retail, but it's been a while. Let me go talk to people who've done this more and more frequently or recently than I have. So that's kind of how we brought you and Jeff and Emma in to get retail students involved with overseeing, kind of helping in that capacity. Again, I'm hoping that I can convince the dean to give us a space downstairs where we can kind of have a satellite community shop with food.
So a physical presence there.
Physical presence there and one here in our building. And Jennifer's very keen on this idea of us having another hub on this side of campus.
Right.
Because it's clear across campus in the Coliseum. Having something over here in close hip would be beneficial to students who might not be able to make it over there.
Yeah. Well, now it's on a podcast session, so the dean has to agree.
Has to do it.
Like there's
heard it here, Mike.
Like very little pressure at all. What I love about that is that, so Jeff, who you referenced, is Dr. Campbell, who is the chair of the Department of Retailing, and Emma Dickinson. What is her role here?
Oh gosh, she oversees everything in the Welcome Center.
Yeah.
Student leaders.
I just felt like she kind of solves problems down here.
Yeah, and she's a retail alum.
Yes, absolutely. So
a lot of stuff.
So I think Emma's a good example of not just retail, but all of our desire in HRSM to create students that think this way, right? So what can I do? And it's such a powerful statement because it goes back to that self-awareness, which leads us to cultural awareness, which allows us to see past barriers, to understand that my worldview needs to be more inclusive. And if it is, look at all these opportunities.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's great about this. And I love the fact that you invited us in. And I know nothing's set in stone yet, but I know that one of the first things we were excited about is that Dr. Campbell's writing a new operations class.
Right, yeah.
And so he's like, oh, this would be perfect. We can help you with inventory control and, do you know what I mean?
Sure.
And all of that, which is necessary in a donation scenario.
Absolutely.
Where they're just sometimes getting bombarded, do you know what I mean, with product, so to speak.
Yeah.
But then, like, to your point, not all of it is just usable and or has different functions.
Right.
And so I love the concept of the Rent the Runway with all the social gala things that happen on campus. Not everybody can afford nor wants to afford buying something for an event. Much better to be able to rent and give back. And so I know we're also, and this is crucial to all of our initiatives, we're also reaching out to industry partners to support, give back, be a part of all of these kind of cross-departmental or cross-collaborative things that we're doing. That gets us into why I hit your email up. So after the community shop, I was like, oh, okay, so this guy, he gets it, right? And so I was very excited because I love when I can find people that are similar core values. Sure. And so I'll be leading a study abroad, which we briefly mentioned earlier, to Milan, Italy, with it's going to be for students from all our programs, that right there shows that we're evolving beyond like these very siloed mentalities, right? So we're creating study abroad opportunities now that are inclusive of all our programs.
Yep.
And so it's going to be business of the Olympics because the Winter Olympics is coming to Milan in 26. And we have all these different students that have signed up and want to go. And I was like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool though, is pre-departure. Why don't we do like a cultural immersion, but like super casual?
Sure.
So wine tasting when legal, and food tasting of Italy. Right. So I reached out to you, and you got right back to me, and you're like, yeah, sounds great, let's do it. And it's that ability to say yes that you don't find everywhere.
Sure.
And so, you know, one of the things I would love to know is why you said yes. Like, how did that fit into like your purpose, right? And like, because you don't need to say yes to everything.
Right.
Why is that a yes? And then we can kind of go into maybe how something as small as a couple hours together before they leave for Italy can set up successful opportunities for them later.
Right.
I gave you like 9 questions.
I'm running
so
back through
just
my head.
feel free to answer any of those.
First one, easiest one.
The yes.
Most people would tell you that I don't have the ability to say the word no, which is a good thing and a problem all at the same time.
Absolutely.
I don't often say it, but when someone asks me to do something around food and drink, I really don't have the abilities, especially when it's a learning experience, because again, I'm a kitchen guy. I was behind the bar and ran those as well, but the ability to educate students about and through food and drink is so much fun for me.
Yeah.
It's again, I get to play in the most exciting and coolest classroom on this campus, and it's work.
Yeah.
I'm teaching you in different, and so when you were like, can we do something where we're engaging them? It's pre-departure. They can learn about the culture. They can learn about the products, and they can kind of spend time. Like, absolutely, that sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't invited to go to Milan,
Right.
this is the way that I can kind of.
Well, I knew you'd say yes, and I didn't have the budget, so.
So it's a fun way to get people to think about things, and the students think differently. Hopefully, I can surprise them with maybe an ingredient or an item that they're not familiar with.
Yeah.
And they may or may not see when they're there. And then there's always, you break bread with people. You share a glass of wine when legal, or a nice bottle of bubbly water.
Sure.
Perrier. Then you just kind of build a different kind of connection.
Agreed.
And I think too, for these students, they're going to be learning, they're going to be studying together, but they're going to be in a place where it's new to them, it's different to them. And so having that companionship and camaraderie before you leave, there's also like a safety piece of that too, right? Like I feel better knowing these students have like connected, and they're going to hopefully go off in their buddy system and then go have fun and then share that experience. But I'm probably missing.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's just
what I think is cool is that, and I've done this before, and not this specifically with you, but I've led these programs before. And to your point, these cohorts almost form.
Yeah.
Right. So most of them don't know each other day one, but by the time 10, 12 days is done of being in another country and traveling and experiencing, and it's so interesting how quickly they become bonded. And so I know I'm not the first and the only one that's ever said this, but I don't think there's anything that can replace the accelerated learning you get when you are in a country that's not your native language.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just by default, you start to have to connect on fundamental levels beyond language and culture. And so we're all human. And we're all eating.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And so let's find some common ground here. And so I love the fact that we're going to be able to kind of almost set the table, if you will. Thank you. For them before they leave.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's amazing. And I love the fact that we're going to have all different departments participating. I think that's great.
That's I think the other piece too is the fact that you can create those connections. Because the sports students might know each other, the hospitality students, retail, but now you're bringing them together. And what I think is so exciting about the ability to bring those students together in this space, I always say we're the college of services. Is really what we are at the end of the day. But when they can connect and they're learning from and with one another, it is just really exciting, especially before they leave. Because then hopefully we're making bonds between students of the three departments rather than just within the same.
I think we're career prepping as well. Do you know what I mean? By default, we're creating network opportunities, not just between each other, but now in another country. And at least in my experience with my career, there's been multiple opportunities to cross over, so to speak, to these other areas. So I've done work with the hospitality side.
Sure.
I've done fundraising. I've done event promotion. But I only could do that because I understood the concept of service and then making connections beyond my own siloed world. And I think that's crucial that we do everything we can to eliminate the silos. Which is also why we're big on cross-collaborative research.
As
well.
Blue Jeans, beer and baseball tickets. I'll sell you all three.
Right.
It's the same thing.
Totally.
And there's so much collaboration and just crossover there.
All right, let's get to, since we're talking about interdepartmental collaboration, why do you think, in your opinion, HRSM is conducive to this? And we've kind of touched on it, but do you have any insights on why you think it's a good environment in which this can happen?
One, our facilities. The spaces we have here and the changes we're making to our facilities here allow us to really experience different things, and for students to get in and experience different things. I think too, you hit on it with our instructors and the faculty. Yes, all of the experience we have that we're bringing to the classrooms is one thing, but more importantly, all the connections we have.
Right.
I have been lucky enough to work at 2 different institutions, and I've studied at least 2 or 3. And I've seen this, but we do a really darn good job here of bringing industry to our students in the classroom.
Agreed.
At Career Expo, taking them places where they're working. The innovation tour,
Speaker series.
All of these things we do is we're really darn good at that, and I think we all recognize that the job's not that much different if I'm in a retail store, I'm in a restaurant, I'm in a hotel.
Similar skill sets.
Yeah, and so again, and we're also one of the only programs that has all 3 under one roof.
Yeah,
and so that's
super unique.
It's awesome to see that connection, and when we have faculty that find something that there is a piece to connect on, we get excited about it.
Yeah.
Like just this whole thing, we get excited about this opportunity to partner on something and push it forward.
Excellent. You and I think others, are kind of almost predisposed to want to do these kind of things.
Sure.
It literally fuels me. Do you know what I mean? I get excited about it. Anything beyond the classroom where I can expand the learning of my students. But what advice would you have for other faculty that maybe are a little more hesitant to develop partnerships across departmental lines, so to speak?
First, just go ask somebody maybe who's already done it, how they started.
Right.
Go ask the faculty member in your college or your department rather that has done something similar, or just go ask somebody a question about something you're curious about. Dr. Rana, he started here the same time that I did.
Right.
And he got his Ph.D. from my
Missouri,
my other alma mater.
Yeah.
And so we connected on that, and we've been looking for ways to work together on research. But the thing we first finally connected on this summer was the use of AI in the classroom and some stuff that I've been doing and building. And he came to me and he's like, all right, tell me everything I need to know about this, and how do I do it in my classroom? And we weren't building something that we were necessarily going to work on together at the time, but we started having conversations about other ways that we could connect. He's doing a lot of work around cotton, and trying to
sustainability,
capture. And he's like, I'm sure the community shop gets clothes that they can't use. Is any of it cotton? And I'm like, I'm sure that there is. Like, we can start talking about donations. And so one of the things we did say we might try to work on together is putting collection sites in the building for cotton specifically, and if anything is of still solid use, we would take it to the shop. If anything needs to be broken down, he would work with the industry people he's working with to have it broken down and turned into
recycling and doing repurposing, all of that. I think that's a perfect it's a perfect example. Yeah, I mean there's no shortage of times that Dr. Rana walks down in my office and he's like, so here's an idea. And I love that that he has that willingness. But I also think HRSM sets up a culture in which it's okay to ask.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think that's true everywhere. And I think there is a leadership focus and a college focus of let's help each other. We know that we're better when we're together as opposed to apart.
Absolutely.
Great. How do you envision this collaboration between retailing and hospitality evolving maybe? Because both of these initiatives are super early in terms of what we're doing, what we're asking to do. So I could see them growing, having offshoots, getting into the classroom.
Yeah.
Do you mean what do you think?
First and foremost, space. Dean Sagas, we need space. So that's the first and foremost piece. But I think, again, having a connection, even if we were just going to the community shop and working together over there to make that operation more efficient, more effective, and
Agreed.
taking our students as well as our expertise and helping grow that is something that we can be, maybe we can take that and show other campuses how we've connected.
Love that.
Those kinds of things.
We could even, I get excited. So sorry, I just talked over him. I am so sorry. But yeah, there could even be a framework or model that gets created based on cross-collaborative initiatives that we could then share with other universities.
Absolutely.
Sorry, got very excited. We could present at conferences.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the sustainability piece is something that I think kicking off. I could go on. I've got the bottle here. This is a different kind of initiative. This is one of 4, probably now one of 2. I think 2 have been lost. We've been working on trying to find sustainable packaging for water on campus, especially for our college, and we're finally making that happen. We've been working with the marketing team to get canned water with imagery on it, which again, having retail students get involved with that would also
branding, marketing, absolutely.
The beer that we produce in the classroom, trying to work with students on how could we, partner and create graphics to sell and market.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of ways I think that our college in all 3 fields, not just hospitality and retail, but all 3 of us can figure out ways to continue collaboration and build things for students in all 3 areas.
Yeah.
I think right now, obviously top of my mind is the community shop focus.
Makes sense.
And making that the best that it can be initially. And then again, I think continuing work around whether it's study away, study abroad, experiential learning, and just building those cross-collaborative efforts for students to see. I think too, if a retail student can learn how to prepare something in the kitchen from a hospitality student, or a hospitality student can learn how to do, different inventory controls.
Sure.
I'm going to run out of things that I think of, or understand how to, pack a venue or an arena from a
sport and entertainment.
Like there's different things that we can all share with one another that I think are it's too impactful to not do.
What I also see happening is this extending beyond our college.
Yes.
And then inviting other programs and colleges from the university into it. So one of the things, as an example, in retail, we have 2 pathways. There's the management side and the digital innovation kind of fashion side, but we don't do design per se. We're not a design school. However, students need to know about that aspect of the business and how do we get involved with that. So one of the things that Dr. Moody and myself and some others have been thinking about is maybe we connect with the theater department and work with their costuming.
Awesome.
Do you know what I mean? And that's a way that retail could reach out and provide expertise beyond.
Sure.
But then we could also be receiving, that learning about a topic that isn't necessarily specific to our program, but they're going to need to know if they're going to be out there in the world doing. And I think same is true with hospitality. I think it's so easy to be here are some other programs we could, work with.
And that's one thing. So the Feed the Flock initiative does kind of stand alone in one little space, but the class that we've created that focuses on this food insecurity and food waste mitigation, the Chef Knapp teaches, we're partnering with the School of Public Health to get this course added to their, I'm gonna mess it up, I apologize, as Nutrition and Food Systems minor.
Okay.
So this class will be a class of students minoring in that, and public health can take through our school. We are hoping to also partner with them and the campus dietitian to figure out best ways to label or package meals of various dietary restrictions or thinking things that are maybe carb-centric, so on and so forth. And then sustainability, obviously we have so many connections between. And then I'll go back to beer real quick. Beer.
We can revisit beer as many times as you want.
I got to be a real scientist a week or 2 ago. Dr. Shannon Roberts over in OChem.
Okay.
I went over and hung out with her for an hour and a half, and we took some full alcohol beer and ran it through a rotary evaporator and turned it into non-alcoholic beer. And so one of the things that we're hoping to do, since we're going to be doing a brewing class this semester with our students, is taking the beer that we produce, running it through that system, and then seeing how running it through a rotary evaporator modifies the flavors and aromas of the beer. So now we can understand the processes the beer might go through when you're taking it from full alcohol to non-alcohol with this. We're seeing a boom in non-alcoholic beverages. And so seeing if there's a way that we can figure out how to make a solid in a beer product through that.
Love it.
It'll be kind of fun, and we get to be real scientists. And chemistry and a lot of other kinds of things.
Bunsen burners stuff. Absolutely. I love it. That actually kind of is a great place to close or to, you've like summarized as through an example of that intersection of like cultural awareness, experiential learning, and purpose. And that's what I would like to leave everybody with, is that regardless of the instructors we talk to or the students that are here, they all have vested interest in those three things.
Yeah.
So if we have a Venn diagram of those three things, it's kind of like in the middle is HRSM. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time today.
Absolutely.
I appreciate the partnerships. It's huge benefit to our students and to our college, and I'm sure we'll do more.
Awesome.